are good ways to reinforce. Yes, communication are good ways to reinforce your husband's self-esteem and confidence in his role as the head of the house. And I think along with the first point, which was to just tell him simply, I love you and I respect you and I appreciate you and all that you do for me in our home. Also compliment him. Like, sincerely compliment him. If his, you know, if the outfit he put together looks good, tell him, oh, wow, you look nice. Hey, Lady Carson, if you're just joining us, go ahead and say your name and where you're from so I can say hello to you. But yeah, tell him he looks nice, you know, tell him if he had, you know, something that he had to stay up late to do, you know, let him know you appreciate all his hard work and you, maybe you wish that you were more dedicated to, you know, your work. But just make sure you're complimenting him on a daily basis, on a daily basis. I don't know about you, but I like to be complimented, whether it's friends, parent, whoever. I like to hear a compliment now and then. So, oh my gosh, you're going to have to, how do you pronounce that? Sharika from South Carolina? Hey. I mean, yeah, so I mean, I like to hear compliments now and then. So does your husband. Just because he's a man doesn't mean that he doesn't like to hear nice things. You know, I think we make the assumption that men have this, you know, men have this invisible shield where compliments and nice things don't penetrate their hearts and don't make them feel good, but they do. Men have the same makeup as we do. You know, nice things are nice for them to hear, just as they're nice for us to hear. So, like the same care that we take to compliment our friends and compliment our coworkers, we should also take when we're talking with our husbands. And so the last thing I wanted to say about that was making sure that we're not giving our husband our emotional scraps. Okay? And what I mean by that is making sure that, you know, well, let me just tell you this, speaking from my own experience. When I was working corporate job, you know, it was hard. You know, there was a lot of work, and you know, I loved the people that I worked with. They were great, and we had fun. We would laugh, we would joke, but there was a lot of work, and you know, there's just a lot to do, a lot to get done. So to a degree, it was stressful. So you know, I'm at work, and you know, smiling face, and hey, girl, hey, you know, talking to my consultants and all that with a great attitude. And then when I come home, it's like, you know, my family isn't getting my best. My husband isn't getting the best of me. He's getting the scraps. He's getting what's left over from the day. And I mean, how do you think that makes him feel? You know, he's not going to feel like a priority. He's not going to feel like someone that matters. And that's not how I want my husband to feel. And when you're doing that on a consistent daily basis, it builds. You know, it builds. So yeah, no leftovers, no scraps. Your husband, when your job is gone, when your health is gone, no one's going to be there but him and your kids. So if you're constantly giving them just the scraps and your leftovers of, you know, your leftovers of love, your love leftovers, I mean, you're not building him up. You're not pouring into him as you should be as a wife. So be careful not to give your husband your emotional scraps. Nobody wants scraps, right? We don't want his scraps, right? So hands lifted. Yeah. So I mean, it's important that we are giving him our best. And it's hard. At the end of the day, when all you want to do is just lay on the bed, flop down and go to sleep, that you have to dig deep. You have to dig deep and give him your best. You know, like I said, when your job's no longer there, he's going to be the one that's looking at you in your face. When you're old and ugly, he's going to be the one having to put up with you, wiping your behind. Don't give your family or husband your love left over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you for recapping for me, Shonda. It's just it may seem to you like not so big of a deal, but and even kids know when you are not giving them your all, you know, when you're not at your best. And so of course your husband's going to know. Of course your husband's going to know. So make sure that you're giving him your best. Make sure that you are not giving him your emotional scraps, that you're giving him your emotional best, that you're loving on him constantly, and that you're you're present. That you're when you're having these conversations with him, when you're stopping to take a minute to do your daily compliments, or to tell him daily, I love you, I respect you, and I appreciate all that you do for me and our family. Be present when you're telling him that. I would say don't text it to him. Tell him face to face. Let him look into your eye, look into his eyes. Even if it's like you have to grab his face and say, babe, I love you. I respect you, and I, appreciate everything you do for me and this family. I love you so much. Just stop and be present with him. Don't do it with the phone in your hand. Don't do it with the computer screen. Be present. Focus on him. It's just a couple of seconds. Everything else, let the house burn down if that's if that's the case. But be present with him. And I think over time, the more that you do that, you'll see. Grabbing his face is why I have 2 kids. But I have be like small notes and letters so he can keep them. And oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. Face-to-face communication is so much better. Yeah. Especially when you're giving, thanks, Toya. Especially when you're telling him things. Okay, so when you're sending him like a list of to-dos, your honey-do list, pick up the groceries, that's fine. Text that to him, But when you're telling him things that are important, which, are things that you love him, you respect him, the things that we just said, you need to tell him that one-on-one, face-to-face. It goes a lot further, and you'll see when years down the line, all of these daily affirmations and daily reminders of how much you love him, respect him, and appreciate him will serve you well, serve your marriage well, and strengthen your marriage. Thanks, Nakia. I'm glad I was introduced to you today. I needed to hear this today. Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad. Are you married then, or in a relationship, Nakia? So thanks for the hearts, you guys. I really appreciate it. And I want to start doing more. I feel like when I do these scopes, I'm kind of just like telling you, sharing with you bits and pieces, but I want to hear more from you. And like I said, I've tried to read and talk at the same time. It's sometimes hard for me. But even more of like a Q&A type of thing is cool. Married 10 years this year. Awesome. Awesome. I will be married 10 years next year. So I'm right behind you. Right behind you. But yeah, I think a lot of us know these things like deep inside. But it's good to get these reminders now and then, because we get so caught up in our day-to-day, our routine. And routines are so easy. Honestly, you guys, when you put together a routine, so say at work, your first thing is you come in, you check your email, you do, you have this whole list of things that you do. It's easy to stick to a routine. But when it comes to you thinking outside of the box and having to do extra, or having to make exceptions for certain things, that's harder. That causes you to think. It causes you to stop. It's an interruption almost, but it's so needed. You can't live a happy marriage if your marriage is full of routines, just constant, almost like zombie routines. You need to make sure that although these are things that you'll be doing every day, that you're not doing them out of routine. You're doing them because you are intentionally giving love and wanting to build your husband up. So they can't just be things that you're saying just because, oh, Leslie said to tell you I love you. They need to be things that you really feel. And I truly believe that you're listening to this, that you're on the scope today because you truly care about your husband. You love your husband, or you love the person that you're in a relationship with, and you want it to work. So, these are just some things that I know I've just in the almost 10 years that I've been married, that I've learned to start doing to make our marriage work and to make our marriage healthy. Hey, Tamara. So if you're watching on replay, hearts count too. So thank you. And we will be back tomorrow. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you then. Till next time. Bye.